You wake up tired, even after 8 hours of sleep. Climbing stairs feels like lifting weights, and your drive, both in life and in the bedroom, just isn't what it used to be. If you're a man over 60, this might sound painfully familiar. You're not lazy, you're not weak, but somewhere along the way your body stopped feeling like your own. Energy dips without warning, muscles shrink, confidence fades, and no one really talks about it. But deep down, you know, you're still that strong, capable man. You just don't feel like him anymore. Here's the truth. This isn't just aging. In many cases, it's a result of missing just a few key nutrients. Vitamins your body no longer absorbs properly with age. The good news? You can turn this around, naturally, safely, and without expensive treatments. In this video, we'll walk through the 3 most essential vitamins every man over 60 needs to reclaim energy, performance, and vitality. These aren't trendy supplements. They're backed by real science and proven results. I'll also reveal the #1 mistake men make when taking these vitamins and how you can avoid it. I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to guide you with facts, compassion, and over 2 decades of experience helping older men feel strong and alive again. If you're looking for simple, honest advice to feel like yourself again, you're in the right place. Let's start with the first vitamin, one that most men are shockingly deficient in, yet it plays a major role in testosterone, heart health, and overall stamina. 1. Vitamin D, the circulation spark plug. Let's begin with something most men never think about until it's gone: blood flow. It's not just about circulation. It's about energy, performance, confidence, and intimacy. And believe it or not, one vitamin quietly controls a huge part of this system: vitamin D. Vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin, helps regulate hormones, supports the heart, and most importantly, it boosts nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessels and improving blood flow. As men age, their skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. Combine that with less time outdoors and certain medications, and you've got the perfect storm for a deficiency. In fact, over 40% of men over 60 have low vitamin D, and most don't even know it. Let me introduce you to Paul. At 67, he said to me, "Doc, I want to be close to my wife again, but my body just doesn't respond." He was healthy, he ate well, but after a simple blood test, we discovered dangerously low levels of vitamin D. Within 3 weeks of adding a high-quality vitamin D3 supplement, plus getting 20 minutes of morning sun, he said something I'll never forget. "I feel like myself again. I didn't think that was possible." Vitamin D is a performance spark plug. It restores nitric oxide levels, supports healthy testosterone, and helps the body use calcium for stronger bones and muscle function. Without it, even the best diet and exercise plans fall short. The fix? Get out into the sun early in the day. Eat foods like wild-caught salmon, mackerel, sardines, egg yolks, and fortified dairy. And if needed, supplement with vitamin D3 plus K2. The K2 helps direct calcium to your bones, not your arteries. I've seen men who had given up on intimacy, stamina, and even walking to the mailbox come back stronger, more engaged, and, most of all, more connected to themselves and their loved ones. It's not about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming presence, power, and peace of mind. And that starts with giving your body what it quietly craves. If you're constantly tired, if your legs cramp at night, or if intimacy feels like a distant memory, don't ignore it. It could be your body asking for something as simple and powerful as vitamin D. It's low-hanging fruit, but it lifts everything else up. Now, while vitamin D sets the foundation, the next vitamin acts like rocket fuel for energy and muscle strength, especially if you're over 60. Let's dive into it. 2. Vitamin B12, the energy generator. Next up is something that affects more than just your body. It affects how you think, how you move, and even how you connect with the people around you. We're talking about vitamin B12, often overlooked but deeply essential. As you age, your body naturally absorbs less vitamin B12 from food, even if you're eating well. And that's where the problem begins. Vitamin B12 is responsible for converting food into usable energy, creating red blood cells and supporting the nervous system. Without it, your body can't efficiently deliver oxygen to your brain, your heart, or your muscles. The result? Fatigue, brain fog, shortness of breath, and that frustrating sense of just not being all there. Take Robert, for example. He's a 72-year-old retired firefighter who told me, "Doc, I sleep a full night, eat my meals, but by noon, I feel like I've run a marathon." That's a classic B12 deficiency talking. When we checked his blood work, his B12 levels were far below optimal, even though he ate meat regularly. After 3 weeks of B12 supplementation, everything changed. His energy came back, his focus sharpened. His words? "I finally feel like my brain woke up." There are different forms of B12, but for older adults, methylcobalamin, the active, most absorbable form, is the gold standard. Some men benefit most from B12 injections done under medical supervision, especially if absorption is low due to age or digestive issues. Others do well with high-quality sublingual supplements that bypass the gut entirely. But here's what makes this vitamin so powerful. It doesn't just help your energy levels. B12 supports your mood, memory, and sexual performance, because all of those depend on proper oxygen delivery and nervous system function. When your body gets the B12 it needs, you don't just feel okay. You feel alive again. I've watched men go from napping through family events to being fully present and playful with their grandkids. That change wasn't a miracle, it was biology, finally working the way it's supposed to. So, if you feel like you're living life in low gear, don't ignore it. A simple vitamin could be the spark you've been missing. And now, let's talk about the third essential vitamin, one that's often called the mood and muscle booster for a reason. It's especially critical for men looking to stay sharp, strong, and steady well into their 60s and beyond. 3. Vitamin E, the fertility defender. Finally, let's talk about one of the most underrated keys to male health over 60, vitamin E. It's often misunderstood as just a fertility vitamin, but its power goes far beyond that, especially when it comes to restoring vitality, mood, and confidence. As men get older, oxidative stress, the kind that builds silently over time, starts to damage blood vessels and testosterone-producing cells. The result? Poor circulation, weak erections, low energy, and a general sense of feeling flat. Vitamin E is one of the body's strongest natural antioxidants. It protects your cells from this hidden damage, reduces inflammation, and supports testosterone production, a triple benefit most men desperately need. Let me share James's story. He was a 70-year-old retired pilot. Fit, smart, and disciplined. He had it all together. But he came to me and said, "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore. My drive is down, I recover slower, I'm not as sharp." His blood work revealed low vitamin E, a deficiency not many doctors even look for. But once we addressed it with targeted supplements and simple dietary tweaks, something shifted. 2 months later, he walked back into my office smiling and said, "Whatever we did, thank you. I feel lighter, clearer, and my wife noticed too." Vitamin E improves blood vessel flexibility, which means better circulation to your brain, muscles, and sexual organs. It also helps regulate testosterone, which impacts everything from motivation to muscle strength to emotional resilience. Foods like almonds, sunflower seeds, extra virgin olive oil, and leafy greens like spinach and kale are all rich in natural vitamin E. But for many men over 60, food alone isn't enough. That's where natural vitamin E supplements, especially those labeled Degmatocoso, can provide real, noticeable results. I've seen men who felt like they were fading come back to life, more emotionally connected, more mentally alert, and yes, more physically capable too. This isn't about turning back time. It's about feeling aligned with who you truly are again. And now that we've covered all 3 essential vitamins, it's time to bring everything together so you can take real, simple action starting today. 4. Why these vitamins work together. Now that we've covered each vitamin on its own, let's talk about what happens when they work together. This is where the real magic begins, not in isolation, but in synergy. As we age, our body doesn't just face one problem, it faces a web of challenges. Poor circulation, low energy, hormonal shifts, and emotional fatigue. And fixing one without addressing the others often leads to temporary or incomplete results. That's why combining vitamin D, B12, and E makes such a difference. I remember Walter, a 68-year-old retired high school coach. Strong-willed guy. He told me, "Doc, I've been taking these one by one, but something was still missing." When he started taking them together, consistently, something clicked. He came back weeks later, grinning from ear to ear, and said, "I feel like I've got a new engine under the hood." Here's why that engine works. Vitamin D improves blood flow, helping oxygen and nutrients reach every cell. Vitamin B12 fuels red blood cell production, so that oxygen actually gets delivered where it's needed. Vitamin E protects your blood vessels and enhances testosterone production, which impacts mood, muscle, and motivation. These three form what I call the vitality triangle: circulation, energy, and hormonal support. Without one, the whole system slows down. But when all three are in balance, men begin to wake up feeling rested, focused, and responsive, not just physically, but emotionally too. You stop dragging. You start living. And the best part? These aren't synthetic quick fixes. They're natural tools your body already recognizes. You're not forcing change. You're restoring what time quietly took away. So now that you understand the power behind these three essential vitamins, let's bring it all together and help you take the first step toward lasting energy, performance, and vitality. 5. The biggest mistake men make. Before we wrap up, there's one important thing I need to warn you about. Because even the right vitamins won't help if you fall into this trap. It's the biggest mistake men over 60 make when trying to reclaim their health. That mistake? Thinking all supplements are the same. I remember Gerald, a 74-year-old retired engineer who came into my office carrying a grocery bag full of bargain bin vitamins. "Doc," he said, "I've been taking all of these for months, but nothing's changed. I'm still tired, still foggy, still weak." When I looked through the labels, the problem was obvious: cheap, ineffective forms of key nutrients. For example, his B12 was the synthetic version, cyanocobalamin, which many older bodies can't convert well. His vitamin D was D2, not D3, which is far less potent. And his vitamin E? A low-quality synthetic form that only provided one fraction of what the body needs for full antioxidant protection. But poor form isn't the only issue. Inconsistency is another killer. Taking vitamins a few times a week, skipping days, or stopping too soon won't allow your body to rebuild blood flow, energy pathways, or hormone levels. These changes don't happen overnight. They require steady input over time. So we made a change. Gerald switched to methylcobalamin for B12, vitamin D3 with K2, and a natural, full-spectrum vitamin E. He also committed to taking them daily, with food in the morning. 1 month later, he returned with a spark in his eye and said, "It finally feels like something's working. I wake up ready again." Your body isn't broken, it's undernourished. But when you give it the right tools, in the right form, and stick with it, transformation becomes possible. Now that we've covered the most common mistake and how to avoid it, let's bring all of this together so you can move forward with clarity and confidence. 6. Your daily vitality routine. So after learning about what to take and what to avoid, you might be wondering, okay, but what do I actually do each day? It's a question I hear all the time from men who are ready to change, but overwhelmed by information. Let me tell you about Frank. He's a 66-year-old former carpenter, tough as nails. But years of fatigue, brain fog, and low drive were wearing him down. He didn't want a complicated plan. He just said, "Doc, give me something I can stick with." So here's what we did. Every morning, Frank took a methylcobalamin B12 supplement with a protein-rich breakfast, usually eggs and a slice of whole grain toast. He then walked 15 minutes in the morning sun to activate his vitamin D. On cloudy days, he replaced it with a vitamin D3 plus K2 supplement. At lunch, he kept it simple, a salad with olive oil or a handful of almonds. Both excellent sources of vitamin E. This wasn't extreme, it wasn't expensive, and most importantly, it wasn't random, it was deliberate. Within 3 weeks, Frank told me, I'm sleeping deeper, waking up clearer, and I feel like I've got gas in the tank again. You don't need a dozen supplements, you don't need a lab coat or a complex spreadsheet. What you need is consistency, high-quality forms, and a mindset that says, I'm done surviving, it's time to start thriving. And now, with everything in place, from the vitamins to avoid, the right forms to take, the synergy between them, and the daily rhythm that brings them to life, it's time to wrap this up with a clear, powerful next step you can take today. If you've ever sat in silence and asked yourself, will I ever feel like myself again? Please know this, it's not too late. You're not broken. You're not fading. You're simply at a point in life where your body needs a different kind of care. And you're strong enough to give it just that. Vitamin D helps your blood flow freely again. Vitamin B12 brings your energy and clarity back online. Vitamin E protects your heart, your hormones, and your sense of strength. These aren't just nutrients. They're tools to rebuild confidence, to reconnect with the people you love, and to wake up each day with a sense of purpose. I've watched countless men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s take this simple information and completely turn their lives around. And now, it's in your hands. So here's your choice. You can let this video end here and go back to pushing through, or you can take the first small step, upgrade your vitamins, build a simple routine, and claim the energy and vitality you deserve. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. SGK. Like the video, share it with a friend or brother who needs this, and let us know in the comments what resonated most with you. What do you want us to cover next? And if you'd like to support this mission to help more men over 60 thrive, consider subscribing or making a small contribution. It helps us create more honest, helpful content just like this. You've got more life to live. Let's make sure it's a good one. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.